What's going on, everybody? George Osei back at it again with another video. This time, Cassie's mother, I think, is on trial now, or on the stand. Without further ado, let's get into this. Shout out to CNN. Alrighty, a former assistant to Sean, Cassie Ventura's mother, and exotic dancer, nicknamed the Punisher. The what? Oh my God. Testified against the hip hop mogul. Testimony Tuesday touched on business, family, and sex. It was used to bolster allegations that Ventura, Combs' ex-girlfriend, laid out on the stand last week. Kid Cudi would be called up soon. That's what's up. Let's see. Inner Circle kept him in line, using threats, violence, drugs, bribery, arson, kidnapping, lies to coerce Ventura and other women participating in freak offs and to protect the mogul's reputation. Defense acknowledged he was violent with romantic partners, and he's flawed. Definitely true. All right. Pharmacist says he got drugs, baby oil for Combs. This is a wild combination. David James, a former assistant to Combs from 0709, testified that he at times would gather supplies for Combs in hotel rooms, including items that prosecutors said they were used in these sex parties known as freak offs. James said that he would make sure Combs' hotel rooms were stocked with things like clothing, toiletry, medicine, food, and drinks. The medicine bag typically carried 25 to 30 pills, including ecstasy and Percocets. At times, those items would include personal items like baby oil, Astroglide, and condoms. I'm not going to gloss over Astroglide, so I got to Googlate this. Because I gotta know what? Oh, it's lubricant. Oh, okay. I've never used this brand before. I'm a KY guy when it comes to the lube. hmm. Is it water based or silicone based? Oh, okay, they got water based versions. Okay. Okay. Hey man, listen, man. Sometimes you need to, warm up the engine a little bit oil. You get things popping. Which prosecutors have said were used in freak offs. James said he will ask security to be reimbursed from the cash Combs kept on hand. Oh, he paid them in cash. Excuse me. During these cross examinations, James testified he was instructed not to submit these items for reimbursement through the company because they were items he didn't want to have a record for. So Diddy knew having baby oil showing up in the ledger so many times would look crazy. Further, James testified that he saw Combs take drugs and give them to his friends on a couple of occasions. James even got drugs for his friends. James did not testify about any personal knowledge of the freak offs, but he said he once keyed into the hotel room to drop off Combs' iPod, saw Ventura passed out in a bed and a naked man who scurried away. He said he heard the shower running and assumed Combs was in it. So these were allegedly two men and Cassie. So they had a train going on. I'm expecting these freak offs to have more than him and Cassie in it. Like this looked like swinger shit here, but we'll continue. Near confrontation with Suge Knight. Okay, interesting. James also testified about a near confrontation between Combs and Suge Knight, the then rival music executive Death Row Records. The incident began after James and a security guard spoke with Knight at a restaurant called Mel's, then saw him wielding a gun in the parking lot and reported the sighting to Combs, who was at home. Combs ordered James to drive him and the security guard back to Mel's to look for Knight, testified. Uh-oh. Combs sat in the backseat with 3 handguns on his lap. Knight was gone when they got back to the restaurant. Okay. On cross-examination, defense attorney Mark Agnifilo questioned James his recollection of the incident, and whether he spoke up when Combs allegedly told him to go to the diner. Respectfully, sir, you have someone with three guns in that close proximity. I didn't think I had the option to say something. Asked if he's granted immunity for his testimony, James said he wasn't sure, but believes he signed a proffer agreement. In general, proffer agreements, one of which prosecutors agreed not to prosecute someone in exchange for their testimony. Yeah. Also, with the proffer agreement, if you run your mouth about what you did, you can get hemmed up. So you're not allowed to really speak on it at all. I think it's slightly different than immunity. But a lot of people, they don't like guns, man. This is America. 2A over here. 2A guy. What it was like working under Combs. James's testimony also offered a glimpse into what working under Combs was like. One of Combs' personal assistants had to go to the hospital for dehydration after working with Combs for 24 hours straight, James testified. He said the work was hard, pause, but he was prepared for the moment and enjoyed it at times. He testified there was a common saying amongst home security guards. You know what rhymes with tired? Fired. And that is why he don't write raps. He writes checks. James testified that there was camaraderie among Combs' staff and that they would often say Bad Boy was a family. He confirmed he felt a sense of mission working for Combs. Make sure that he was happy and prepared for the day, James said of the mission. Interesting. Now we got Cassie's mother out here. Regina Ventura, the mother of Cassie Ventura, testified Tuesday she took out a loan and wired $20,000 to Combs' record label on request in 2011 because she was scared about her daughter's safety. Cassie returned home for the holidays in December 2011, told her mom that an angry Combs beat her when he learned she was romantically involved with the rapper Kid Cudi. Her mother photographed the bruises to memorialize the abuse. She testified as the jury viewed the photos. Cassie Ventura also sent her mother an email from her daughter using the alias Veronica Bang, saying Combs had threatened to release two explicit tapes of her, including one around Christmas Day, Regina testified. He also said that he will be having someone hurt me and Scott Muscuddy physically. He made a point that it wouldn't be by his hands. He actually said he'll be out the country when it happens. Plausible deniability. Okay. Cassie Ventura testified last week that her relationship with Miss Cudi, the musician, who goes by the name Kid Cudi, prompted Combs to threaten them both. She said she broke up with Cudi soon after to keep them safe. With Cassie's protection, who needs friends? On the stand Tuesday, Regina Ventura said she felt physically sick when she read the email, which was also sent to one of Combs' employees. I did not understand a lot of it. The sex tapes threw me. I did not know the other person, but knew that he was going to try to hurt my daughter. Around that same time, Combs contacted Regina and her husband. She said he was going to need $20,000 to recoup money he had spent on her because he was angry that she had been in a relationship with Scott. Regina went to the credit union, took a home equity loan to obtain the $20,000, and then wired the money to the Bad Boy account. She testified. About 4 or 5 days later, the money was returned to her account, but she did not have any communication with Combs about it, Ventura testified. The defense did not ask her any questions. Why didn't they ask any questions? Like, why did he go to her mom to tell her what her daughter did? Maybe they had like some agreement because they did give their daughter away to this man. Maybe part of that agreement was he was going to break them off a little bit or something. Pause this title over here. Jeez. Male exotic dancer nicknamed the Punisher tested Tuesday. He was paid to have sexual encounters with Ventura in a hotel room while Combs watched and told him what to do. My understanding was we were creating a scene, a sexy scene that was enjoyable to her partner, Sheree Hayes. I ain't even gonna Google him. Hayes said the liaisons began with him and Ventura putting baby oil on each other while Combs watched and directed him. He was told to ignore Combs and try not to look at him. The encounter was generally lasted about 4 hours, typically escalated into sex, he testified. Hayes usually received $1,200 or $2,000 after each session. He said he never used drugs with Ventura and Combs and never saw Combs take drugs or appear intoxicated. On cross examination, he said that as an experienced exotic dancer, he always reads the room to make sure everyone is comfortable. This is true. I did not get any cues that there was discomfort with what was going on, he testified. It seems as if it was consented as far as I was concerned. Haynes is the second person to testify in a trial about sexual encounters with the former couple. Prosecutors have said Combs used drugs and violence to coerce Ventura to participate in these freak offs that could last for days. So I don't think they were actually always having sex during these freak offs. I think if he's directing this, I think there was moments where he's building anticipation. Like this man is a wild dude. Like he must have been directing this like he was on a Brazzers set. Did he have a script? Did he actually play out these fantasies like she's a lost girl, she ain't got no money, but she got something else? He just sitting there watching the whole thing, directing. This sounds like some swinger shit. I'm yeah, this is okay. And then the dude saying that she didn't seem like it was forced sex because he wouldn't even like that himself. It's quite interesting. So what did these agents find in his home? Gerald Gannon, special agent of Homeland Security. Okay, Homeland Security, tax money being spent well. Testified Tuesday about the search of Combs' Miami Beach home, in which they found guns, ammunition, and baby oil. All right, guns and ammunition go together. Baby oil, can you use baby oil to lube up your gun? Gannon was a special agent in charge of on the ground for the search of the Combs Star Island home on March 25th, 2024. About 80 to 90 law enforcement agents participated in the search because of the size of the property. Hey man, he getting paper. Agents used their vehicle to break through the front gate to enter. Yo, they damaged his home. He said it was a standard practice when conducting a search warrant as the quickest and safest option to be able to get onto the property. In the search of Combs' bedroom closet, agents found parts of an AR with scratched out serial numbers and 2 loaded magazines, as well as a 7-inch platform, high heel shoes, sex toys, baby oil, personal lubricant, and lingerie. Gannon rose from the witness stand and picked bags off the evidence off a metal cart beside him after putting blue latex gloves on, cut open one of the evidence bags and pulled out a part of an AR. Gannon held in his hand in front of the body and walked a few steps toward the jury so they could see the weapon. Gannon is expected to continue testifying about the search Wednesday morning. Okay. I don't understand this case sometimes or why they went in that direction. Um, I wonder what was on the search warrant. That's what I want to know. Like, you break down this guy's gate, and then you go straight to his bedroom, open up his closet. You don't find money. You don't find other people. You find a whole bunch of lube, guns, drugs. I don't understand RICO cases. I'm not a lawyer, but we're going to continue. So, wherever you see this, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be back soon.